To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Welcome to our Disney Parks videos, where we aim to give you tips and how-to guides on what to do before, during and after your trip to the Disney Parks, guiding you from booking your holiday to prepping for it, and also giving you top tips on how to ride your favourite rides and snack on your favourite tasty treats. Follow along with our adventure every month by clicking that subscribe button and the notification bell.
Hey there friends, and welcome back to another Disney Park video. So,
hey guys, Future Shack here. When reviewing this footage, for half of it, it seems the microphone doesn't work properly. It's a bit of clicking and things like that, and it's quite quiet. So it sounds a bit strange, so I apologize about that. It does get better automatically on its own. So happy days on that. So sorry, just had to stick it out until about halfway through the video. But back to you, past Shaq and Gemma.
we're not going to give a bit of tips and tricks this week. We're going to give our experience.
Yeah, what we learned during our trip to Disney World.
It's been over 5 months, but life has just been crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, so busy.
So we finally managed to collect our thoughts, watch back many videos, and the horror in, we know what's going on, but you guys maybe didn't, but we could tell by the way that she waddled, and I had a look in my eyes as well.
Yeah. So from day 3 onwards, constant pain.
Yes, so, but we're going to go through 10 different ways we think you could have a better time, and that's whether it's things that we did right, or things that we didn't quite do right.
Yeah.
We didn't do anything wrong. We didn't do anything wrong.
No,
but we could improve.
Yeah, exactly.
So, 10 points. So, I think you better start off with this one.
Yeah, so I was obviously working right up until a couple of hours the night before we left. So, didn't really have a very good sleep the night before, maybe 1 or 2 hours. We did leave the house, was it 3 a.m?
About 3 a.m, yeah. And we went to bed about midnight, 1 a.m.
Yeah, so
like
we got about an hour's sleep,
yeah.
And then we got up. And then obviously we drove then to Heathrow. It's my first ever long haul flight. I did have a little nap while we were on the flight. Not as much as I thought I would, considering how the lack of sleep I had the night before. And I'm not really sort of one that's used to lack of sleep. So obviously we got there, got our bags, got our transfers across to the hotel.
And you did actually say, oh, let's do a Skyliner tour when we were arriving there. So we'd been awake probably about 16, 17 hours by this time, because obviously time difference is 5 hours back when you're out there.
Yeah.
It's 4 hours then, wasn't it?
For that one day.
For that one day, or 2 days, we were there. It was 4 hours back, but still, that really affects you and stuff. But you were like, "Yeah, let's go do this," and I was like, "Really? Okay." It was like,
yeah.
The original plan was we were just gonna have a look around the hotel, and that's where it ended, really.
Yeah, we didn't really get to the Skyliner, so we got to the hotel. We just dumped the cases. We went straight to gift shop and had a little look around the gift shop. Then we went into the on-site restaurant, picked up our resort mags, filled them. That was our first sort of action, was to get our resort mags.
This isn't one of the points that we've discussed. Highly recommended. If you're there for over 7 days and you stay in on site, definitely get a resort mag.
Yeah.
Anyways, continue.
So we had food then, because obviously we were like, right, let's have some food. And then the plan was go in to unpack and then jump on the Skyliner, or maybe the opposite way around.
We were gonna unpack. We were gonna do a room tour.
Yeah.
Then we were gonna do the Skyliner.
Yeah.
But we were in the shop in ink and paint shop, which is the merchandise store
back into the shop after having food, and I nearly passed out. I was nearly on the floor, and I was sort of... It was after I had food, and I sort of got up.
It's because you sat down and you stopped,
Yeah.
and that's when everything come rushing down, and I had to steady you and stuff and help you back. You got back to the room and you passed out.
Yeah.
Phantasmic was going off. You couldn't hear any of it.
No,
and stuff,
I was out of it.
So I was like unpacking and things. So you didn't see that in the vlog. We did cut that in the vlog. Because in the very first day, the travel day, you see us traveling and things like that. And then you see then all of a sudden it's a few days later and we're doing the room tour.
Yeah.
That's because you felt ill. And we didn't feel it was right to...
film a room tour while I'm passed out unconscious.
Or even talk about it. But now we can. We can laugh about it now. It's like I'm quite used to quite little sleep. And because I've done this flight quite a few times, it's like I know what it's like. So our first point is rest as soon as you get there. Go and have that food. Maybe have a little look around. Do not plan on doing grandeur things and stuff like that.
And if you can, the night before you fly, try and stay at the airport or near the airport so that you haven't got to have that limited amount of sleep. Because the flight times in Heathrow tend to be about 10:30. So if you are sort of travelling from any sort of distance, obviously factoring in then the 3 hours before you have to be at the airport before the flight, you are generally going to be driving down early hours through the morning. So yeah, if you can sort of stay in the airport the night before, and at least you can have a good night's sleep, park the car wherever you're parking it, and then still be at the airport relatively sort of 7-8 o'clock.
But that all depends on where you're flying from and where you're coming from. So we're in South Wales, so it took us about 2.5-3 hours to get to Heathrow. So it's not majorly a thing, but we wanted to stop off as well, make sure we had coffee and things. And we were trying not to get, we tried to get in before we had to pay the congestion charge as well, which is a bit silly of us.
7 a.m.
So we were trying to get in before that, and obviously you need to be there 3 hours before your flight as well. So we recommend staying the night before if your budget allows it. Obviously a lot of people, it's an expensive holiday anyway, so some people's budget might not work with it, but a way that this could be cheaper is maybe stay somewhere slightly further afield, so that half hour, 45 minutes outside of where your airport is, but be weary then of commuting traffic for works and things like that. Just allow that a little extra time to leave. But highly recommend, as our point number 2, stay at a hotel near the airport. So definitely one to think about on that.
Like, I think if I had slept the night before,
you might have been a bit better.
I might have been a bit better and not at the point of nearly passing out.
But it's your first very long haul flight, so we wouldn't know that. And it's like, you know your bodies as well. If this is your very first long haul flight, we highly recommend doing that anyway. So, and it's like, on the way back, we were exhausted at that point as well, because obviously you lose that, because time extends by 5 hours then. So it was like 7 a.m. where it really was only 2 a.m. to us, I think. So it was like, driving that back then is a little bit scary.
Yeah.
So point 3, if we was to say we done something wrong, I think this is the one we would say that we done something wrong, but we didn't. We learned. It was an opportunity to learn.
Yes.
Don't go too hard too quick. We hit the ground running. So you had a fainty spell the day we arrived.
Yeah.
Then we, because of jet lag and time difference and stuff like that, we woke up at 4 a.m?
3:30 a.m.
3:30 a.m. Alright, so that's about 8:30 UK time. No, it was 7:30 UK time because it was only 4 hours. And we were raring to go. We were like
completely wide awake. I unpacked all of my suitcase, like between 3 and 4 in the morning, and then 4, I think I was in the shower getting ready for the day.
And we left then. It was about 6:30, 7:15. We actually left our hotel room to go to Animal Kingdom. And we had a great day. fabulous. We did a lot that day, and we, as you saw in the vlog, we finished everything we wanted to do, well, more or less everything we wanted to do by mid-afternoon, and we decided to keep going.
Yeah, a couple of re-rides, because as well, this was the only day we had planned in Animal Kingdom. We didn't have Animal Kingdom in for any other point during the holiday, so we wanted just to get it all done.
We went right up to the end of that day. We did rope drop to park close.
Yes.
Then we went back to the hotel room, got up our resort mugs, which is still over there, and we went to sleep fairly early that night. It wasn't.
I didn't feel completely tired at that point.
No, we were still running on adrenaline and the excitement of being in Disney.
Yeah.
Then the next day we did Magic Kingdom.
Yes, that was another early morning.
Another rope drop, we hit that, and we've got another point about that in a moment, about Magic Kingdom. We did everything there. We went right, parade, ride, jump, run, bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
We wanted to stay till park close, and we almost did. It was only about half an hour.
Yeah, it was. We literally left for half an hour before park closed, so it wasn't too much. There was no breaks in the day. There was no leaving the park and going elsewhere for a break.
No, we just carried on with that. Then we had a little bit of a wait. I think that's the longest we waited then for a bus. Was at the Magic Kingdom, so we must have just missed the bus there. But still, it was probably about 30-40 minutes, and we were back in the hotel room after we left the park. Then another early morning.
For him to rope drop Rise of Resistance.
Yes.
In Hollywood Studios.
And at this point, our feet were hurting, we were exhausted. You're not a big Star Wars fan, and we stayed most of the morning.
I didn't really feel it until a couple of hours in. Those first few hours in Hollywood Studios were fine.
Yeah.
It was just as day 3 was starting to progress.
Yeah. And then that kind of like, we were just exhausted, and it did kind of take a little bit away from day 3. So we picked it back up. We'll talk about this in a little bit, but we did pick that back up. But don't go too hard. It's like, if you're gonna rope drop, then maybe not do park close and stuff like that.
Or vice versa.
Yeah, take a little bit more time with things. Have those rest days. If you're feeling not up for doing things, then don't. The great thing now from January 2024 onwards is there's no park reservations. So it's the 9th of January?
Yes.
9th of January, no more park reservations. So that is fantastic. If you don't want to go to that park that day because you're exhausted, don't. Go to Disney Springs.
Go to an easier park. Go an easier park. A chiller park.
Yeah, go to there's a beach, Typhoon Lagoon,
Yeah.
wherever. Have a chiller thing. Listen to your bodies and things. We had to, because we had the reservations, park reservation for that day. We could have gone later, but then we wouldn't have been able to rope drop Rise.
Right.
And as you've seen from the vlog, literally about 45 minutes after we rode it, it was 200 minutes long.
It was crazy how quick it changed from 20 minutes for us to well over 2 hours. It was...
Well, 200 is over 3 hours.
Yeah.
So that's crazy, absolutely crazy. But just know yourselves. It's like, we're not young, springing. And,
not as young as we would like.
Yeah. So I think in my head, I'm still thinking I'm that almost 5-year-old back in 1990 running around the park.
Boundless energy.
Yeah, I'm not. So, but that is, if anything we learned, is don't go too hard, too fast. And if you are feeling flagging, take it easy then.
Yeah.
Because on that day, then, we took it easy. We did one thing after another, didn't we?
I sort of was honest with you and was like, I want to leave the park. And it was lunchtime?
And to me, I was a little bit...
Just before lunch?
It was just before lunch, before we went to Docker Bay 7. And I played a little bit of a game because I didn't want to leave, because obviously it's my favourite area and stuff. But I knew physically I was hurting, physically you were hurting.
Yeah.
So I was strategic then and be like, right, let's have food. So we had food.
Yeah.
You picked up a little bit then. I was like,
Yeah, we would have had to have sat down and had food anyway, so we decided to stay with our plan of where we were having food that day. So obviously we went to Dock on Day 7.
yeah. And then we did Star Tours to finish off the Star Wars things in Galaxy's Edge.
And to be honest, I didn't really mind so much there because I think it was like signpost, like a 10-minute wait. So I was like, right, okay, let's just do this last one.
It was about 20 minutes down, so it wasn't too bad. Then we decided let's do Muppets since we're here. So we did Muppets.
And it was a sit down. Little break.
Then I pushed it a little bit again, and we were like, oh, let's go and do Indiana Jones, but we couldn't get in then.
Yeah.
So then I was like, oh, Frozen's about to start. And you were like, oh, okay, Frozen.
Yeah.
You loved Frozen.
Yeah.
We went to the toilet, and that's when we decided we were going to go leave the park.
Yeah.
You came out from the toilet, you had a big beaming smile, you were re-energized then. So then I pushed a little more. I was like, oh, do you want to go to Backlot Express and get some snacks? And you were like, yes. And then I pushed again.
Food wins me over.
Then I pushed again, and I was like, oh, Beauty and the Beast starts in 30 minutes. Do you want to go see that? Yes. And then we were like, right, that is it now.
Yeah.
But then we still did we did a Skyliner tour then.
Yes, we did. We done a full Skyliner tour.
So your plans can change and things on there. Which brings us quite nicely, nice little segue into our next point. Point 4 is don't be too strict with your itinerary.
Yeah, be flexible.
Definitely be flexible. So we had an itinerary that it was a wish list of what we wanted to do that day.
Yes.
And in our heads we were like, well, we were discussing it, we went, this is just a guideline.
Yeah.
But I think somewhere in the deepest, darkest parts of our mind, we were like, we have to do this.
Yeah, we are both that type of person, sort of, this is the itinerary, there's no deviating from the itinerary.
So, but even though we were saying, oh, if it doesn't work, we go on. So, like that Magic Kingdom day, we had to do these things, bump, and then click that.
And we did.
Yeah. Same with Animal Kingdom. I think it's because Animal Kingdom worked. Our plan worked for Animal Kingdom, but it was a lot quieter day, I think, and things like that.
It wasn't as long.
Yeah. And then come to when we were in Islands of Adventure, it just went
pear-shaped.
Yeah. So that's to bring it really nip it in the bud kind of things. You are gonna change your plans and things.
Yeah.
Which brings us nicely on to our 5th point.
Yeah.
Which
Don't panic!
don't panic if your day is not going to plan. So yeah, it's like those days where like you got your itinerary, I need to do it. Look at our Islands of Adventure day. We had so much planned. You can see the itinerary we had planned.
Yeah.
And we were quite disheartened, weren't we?
Despondent.
Yeah.
It was cold, so that was point number 1. It was like, that was the first cold day.
Yeah.
Because we had like sort of 2.5 cold days.
It was 11, 12 degrees, but when you're used to then the 20 odd degrees, it's a massive change.
Yeah, so it was cold.
We went to Hogsmeade because it was your Harry Potter day, so because I had my Star Wars day and I wanted to make it really special for you to have a Harry Potter day, and we got there. Hagrid's was already well over 2 hours.
But we were expecting that, so Hagrid's was sort of our we will fit that in when we can, when the queue seems reasonable.
But we were in Hogsmeade, and if anybody's been to Hogsmeade, they know there's so many pinch points and stuff, and it was rammed. We looked at Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. That was an hour wait. You had Flight of the Hippogriff. That was an hour wait. We looked at the app. Hulk was an hour wait. Everything was over an hour wait, pretty much. Yeah. So we decided, let's just do Harry Potter.
Yeah.
So we went and did that. Then we came out and we were like, well, what do we do now?
Yeah, because by this point, even though everything was an hour wait when we looked at it originally, by this point, pretty much everything was 2 hour waits plus.
Yeah. Apart from Jurassic Park River Adventure,
Yeah.
which we kind of lost our minds after that ride, because
Yeah.
we were just so like,
So we were like,
what is going on?
So we sort of said, let's go and do that. That's a 5-minute wait. That's one ride then, done and dusted, over with quite quickly. So we donned our ponchos because it was chilly, because it was like, well, if we get wet, it's not warm enough to dry
That's
us.
a good tip anyway for any rides. Chuck your poncho on you. It helps you stay dry, unless your hood pops off like yours did on River Adventure.
Yes. So then we got out, we came out into the gift shop. We did look at the app at the wait times, and before we'd even looked around the gift shop, and then that is when we sort of seen that everything was 2 hours plus. Some things were even 3 hours, and we were like, where do we go now? Where do we go next?
So we did go on Flight of the Hippogriff then, and that was...
Before that, we had a bit of fun in the gift shop,
Yeah, we
because
did, yeah.
we were like, let's not think about it for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's just have a little bit of a wander around and have a little bit of fun.
Yeah. So then we did Flight of the Hippogriff, and that was 45 minutes. It wasn't as long as what was posted, thankfully, but it's an awful ride, in my opinion. And then I think we were literally wandering around for a good hour and a half, going, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
We did manage to, in the end, we jumped on Hulk because,
Yeah.
and it went down, so we sat on the floor.
First
good tip.
time we
Yeah.
sat on the floor.
Good tip, sit on the floor when there's long waits and stuff like that.
Bonus tip, that's not on our list.
Yeah, bonus tip. Well, we've got lots of bonus tips, but anyways, but the key point of this, when we're saying don't panic, if not everything's going to plan, change your plan. It's like going back to point 4, where it says don't strictly stick to your itinerary, because that day was all going to be Islands of Adventure, everything, all of Islands of Adventure. But we decided no, we're going to now park hop across to Universal. And then we rode a couple more rides. We saw the Mardi Gras parade.
Yeah.
And
it brought
we were happier then. And
the
things like
morale
that.
back up.
Yeah. So sometimes changing your plan is for the best. It's like, so if things aren't going to plan, don't worry. Just have that 30, 45 minutes to reassess. Have a snack. Have a snack.
Have a sit, have a snack, have a drink.
And reassess things. And if park hopping is what you need to do, then that's what you're going to need to do. If you need to leave the park and then pick things up another day, like we planned on Fantasmic, the first Hollywood Studios day.
Yeah.
And because of all those things that we said just now, we didn't go to see that. But then the next day, we had a rest day. We went to, rest day was a very, very adventurous day. Then we went and we did Blizzard Beach, done the mini golf, we did Disney Springs, we had a little tour around different hotel resorts.
Yeah.
We went to Epcot, we went on the monorail, then we went over and did Fantasmic, and it was great. It was absolutely great. That might have messed us up a little bit for our Islands of Adventure day, because we were out late that night, but there you go, hey ho. So don't panic, don't like go, this is my itinerary, I have to do it. Don't go too hard. Those are 3 very good points whilst you're there on the start of your holiday.
Yeah.
So we're about halfway through our little tips now, what we've learnt from our trip. So if you like our trip so far, then click on that subscribe button and click on the join button as well and join our membership. Got lots of little contents and things like that, some emotes and badges for you as well, or click on the super thanks. We really appreciate any support you guys give us, even if it's just a share of this or a little like, and pop down comments. We love talking to people, don't we?
Yeah.
So we love talking to people, finding out your experiences. So
passing the information on.
Yeah. So click that subscribe button, consider the join button, and consider the super thanks. But let's get back to our 10 things we learnt from our holiday.
Yes.
So go on in. What's that one? Oh, we're looking off into the distance at our list.
Yeah, so if you are staying on site and you manage to be able to go to the early entry and the rope drop, that is quite a good time to have the park a little bit quieter without the general public being there, to bang out a couple of rides. So yeah, so and, if you are sort of an early morning bird, or if you can sort of be up early, even if it means you're not staying in the park late, because obviously, if you don't want to do park open till park close.
That's a good point. It's like, consider that if you're doing rope drop, consider having a slightly earlier night from that, and then the next morning then have a later start or something. Really, don't rope drop again, because we learned that it's like rope drop after rope drop and staying till the end is brutal. Don't go too hard too fast, as we said before.
But yeah, so early entry, if you're staying on site, you get half an hour early entry. Utilise that time. Don't sort of go in and think, I'll go and have a Starbucks, and waste your half hour in the queue for Starbucks.
Get your coffee in your hotel rooms first.
Yes.
Take that with you. And we recommend travelling about 30-45 minutes before the park opens.
Yes.
Get there, so you're there about 30 minutes before early entry. They will let you in just before the early entry starts. So we got in about 10 minutes before. And with that, then we headed up to Pandora, and we rode. We got on Flight of Passage in 20 minutes. We rode it later in the day, and it was over an hour we waited then. So that just shows you how rope drop does help. So rope drop strategies that we would suggest would be for Animal Kingdom. We do Flight of Passage and Navi River Journey. You can whack those out before the parks officially opens to day guests. Great start to your day. That's for that one. So for Magic Kingdom, for ride rope dropping,
only half of the park is open during the 30 minutes early entry, so that would be Tomorrowland and Fantasyland. So obviously the big ticket rides over in those areas of the park is Space Mountain over in Tomorrowland, or Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and I hate to say it, Peter Pan's Flight in Fantasyland. So
I hate that ride.
they would be the three to hit during that half hour early entry.
And when Tron becomes standby line, that'll probably be another one to watch out for on that. And then after, like, when the park properly opens, we recommend Jungle Cruise then. So we'll talk about a little bit a different rope strategy in a moment about Magic Kingdom. Hollywood Studios, definitely there's one of three to hit, I would say. Rise is a must, I think, if you like that kind of ride. Tower of Terror would be another good one. And then go straight to Rock and Roller Coaster.
Again, you could probably hit those two out before the park opens half hour after
so it'd be Rise and Smugglers. Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller, Slinky and Toy Story Mania. It'll be a great start to your day. You've got two major ones. You can get that done easily within 40 minutes before when the park opens. And then finally Epcot, definitely Remy, Frozen, Test Track.
One of those three.
Or Guardians if that becomes a standby queue.
But if you have got the Skyliner access, if you're on site and you're on one of the resorts with Skyliner access, or even if you're staying in the Boardwalk or Yacht and Beach Club, and you have entry to the International Gateway entrance, which is the back entrance of Epcot, when you go through there, Remy is literally right on your right hand side within a few minutes. So you can beat those people that are entering the front of the park for early entry. You can definitely beat them to that ride. So that would be a quick and easy one to do.
Definitely. So our next point, back to Magic Kingdom, like we just said, there's a different rope drop strategy, because Magic Kingdom, it's the park in Disney World. Everyone knows it because it's like Disneyland. This is the one with the castle. So what would you say for the rope drop for people, the first timers, or people who have been for a long time?
So obviously on your first time, when you sort of go in, the castle does take your breath away, really. It's hard to describe, sort of walking up towards it and seeing it for the first time. And
would you say it's emotional? Would you
course.
say you'd be speechless?
Yes.
Just like you were.
Yes. So I mean, you have got the people that are sort of always visiting. They are going in, they're going off to sort of queue up ready for when the ride's open. But then, you've got the other people that want to sort of just take it all in, take in the atmosphere, take in around the hub, take in the castle.
And it's a good time to get your photos done without loads of people in them as well, because it is open earlier than normal in Main Street, USA.
Yes.
So you can be there about an hour before park opens, isn't it? So
I think it's 45 minutes before early entry. They will allow you onto Main Street and within the sort of castle hub. So if you get in there sort of 45 minutes earlier than the early entry time, you can go off and start queuing for the ride. They will keep you on the bridge and you will just queue there for that 45 minutes until they drop that rope and allow you to go to the ride.
But then remember, you're going to be on your feet then for that extra time. So we think, utilise it. Look at the castle. Get those photos done and everything. Propose?
Yes. Propose like this one done.
So you didn't see that in the vlog, but I did on second day. Get down on one knee in front of the castle. You were a blubbering mess before before it, and then I made sure you were okay. You thought we were about to do a piece of camera,
yes.
And then I did it again. So and then you were like Niagara Falls.
Yes.
So, but definitely that's the time to do it in my eyes, like really, because people who are doing the proposing, it gets a weight off your mind as well. You're not carrying a ring around the entire time you're there. Am I going to lose it on a ride or whatever like that? Try and do it first thing, and it's good. Go get your badges then, and get some free stuff from Disney too. We had some great stuff. It was delicious.
Yes, that was lovely.
We had another dessert in Roundup Rodeo Barbecue and things like that. So this is another point which isn't on our point list. So. But yeah,
so the other half of Magic Kingdom, i.e. Frontierland, Adventureland, they open up then at the same time as the park opens for the general public. So if you want to take in the castle while the resort guests are utilising the early entry over the other side of the park, then you can be taking in everything, and then you can obviously then go to your left and then be one of the first ones then to ride Jungle Cruise, and then even then get to Pirates and do that, and you can probably bang them two out pretty quickly as well.
So our itinerary, our set plan that we were going ahead with was to do that, to do the castle, then do Jungle Cruise, Pirates, then come back and do these cheeseburger spring rolls and the Dole Whip and things like that. But we rode Jungle Cruise and Pirates so quick, we still had an hour until the spring roll
cart was open.
So we went off and did some other bits. So your itinerary is going to change, and that's fine. That's totally fine.
Well, because like we were then going to go on to our next ride, which would have been Big Thunder Mountain if we were going like linear around the park, but that had just gone down, so we got on the railroad instead at the Adventureland railway station, Frontierland station, and then we just done a lap of the park then.
So that was going to be on our second day in Magic Kingdom. That's what we set that for.
Yeah.
So we just ticked off something from another day. So.
Yeah, and then we got back off there. Thunder Mountain was back open, but it was already up to about 70 minutes at that point. So we did then sort of just go a little bit back on ourselves, because the spring cart roll was open by then, and we had spring rolls. Or did we go to a lower item first?
I love the fact that you said spring roll cart. Spring cart roll, you said.
Spring cart roll.
Spring cart roll.
Spring roll cart. But we done the Dole Whips and we done the spring rolls.
Spring carts.
Yeah, spring carts. Then we were able then to take the little detour through a lower aisle into sort of where the Liberty Square section is.
By Country Bays.
Yeah. And they had already set up all the markers for the parade. So we were like, oh, let's stand here because it looks like something's happening. Not realising that
we waited a while.
We waited a while, yeah. We should have gone off at that point, but we didn't.
And we still saw Festival of Fantasy another 2 times once we were there.
Yeah.
So actually, no, I think it was 2 or 3 times. I think.
Yeah.
But
we did sort of knock off that big parade, and then after that finished, we legged it to Haunted Mansion, because that was just down the road then, around the corner. So we wanted to get that done.
Once that parade was finished, everyone would have been heading there, and I think we just got in the front lot of people, and then because like we did wait a few minutes for it, but it was literally when we got off, it was about an hour wait. Then,
and it was coming out of the actual sort of
so that's a tip as well. But another tip that's not on our list is when you're at the parade and you're near a ride, go for it. And then it's like as soon as that finishes, go for it.
Yeah.
But segueing into our next point is like when things are on, like the fireworks. It's like
or any nighttime show.
Yeah, great time to ride some rides because a lot of people are going to be going to those nighttime shows, especially Magic Kingdom.
Yes.
So we on one of our last days when we went out for your birthday, we came out to be our guest and the fireworks were going off.
Yeah.
And in the time that the fireworks were going off, we managed to do the lantern.
Yeah, the Rapunzel photo shot opportunity with holding the lanterns.
Then we went to Jungle Cruise, and we were just getting on Jungle Cruise when the fireworks finished, and that was a walk on.
Yeah.
And we done it at night, something I've never done is Jungle Cruise at night. Then we walked up and it was a walk on for Pirates as well. We probably could have done more.
Yeah.
But then we decided, no, enough's enough, let's go. So it's definitely worth it. And not in Disney, but in Universal, the Mardi Gras parade was on.
Yeah.
And we went on Fast and Furious, The Mummy, they were just walk-ons.
Yeah.
For those. So definitely when there's a parade or something like that, get on those rides, I would. So.
Like if you've not seen them, then obviously you do need to sort of see them and experience them just that once. But then if you are in the parks again for a second or a third time and you're not really that bothered about seeing them again because you've already done them, then that is a good time to go and do other things around the parks.
Definitely.
Right, so the next tip then will be, there is a lot of information to do with pulling together Disney trips. There's a lot of information to have to know while you're out there. And you can't keep every single tidbit of information in your head or remember it at hand every single time. So ask the cast members. They are very approachable. They will do their utmost to help you. Just be nice.
Because you're going to be tired. So it's like you can do all the research in the world. You can have all the experience in the world. But then you're going to have a brain fart. You're going to be like, what's going on? And sometimes you might not know what to do. Like a good example for us is Blizzard Beach wasn't open when we were coming up to the holiday.
It was Typhoon Lagoon.
It was just Typhoon Lagoon. So all the information that we had of how we can get from Art of Animation to there was either get an Uber or a Lyft or get a bus from Art of Animation to Disney Springs back to Typhoon Lagoon. Now I saw that as a bit backwards because we'd be passing Typhoon Lagoon to come back on ourselves, and it would have taken something like 45 minutes, something like that, to get there. I was like, that's not going to happen. Especially when you have to go for Blizzard Beach. We thought then you have to go to Disney Springs and get a bus to Blizzard Beach, and that would be the opposite direction and then go in complete opposite side of Disney World. But our first day, when we got on the bus for Animal Kingdom, we noticed it said Animal Kingdom and Blizzard Beach. So we were like, huh.
Yeah.
So we did ask a cast member at the resort. They didn't actually know, really, to be honest. They were like, oh, we don't know, really. What we asked was, does it go directly to Blizzard Beach?
Yeah.
And they said no, which they were correct.
Yes.
It didn't go direct there. So we asked the bus driver.
So on our Blizzard Beach morning, we were like, let's just go to the Animal Kingdom bus line and ask the bus driver that turns up.
And he said, no, it's you've got to get this bus, then change in Blizzard Beach, in Animal Kingdom for Blizzard Beach.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, great. So we got off at Animal Kingdom, and we got off at the middle doors, and he got off at the front entrance, and he was looking for us, and he was like, oh, it's over there. So he was pointing it out for us, and I thought, I love that.
Yeah.
Cast members will make your stay the most magical and the easiest if you let them to. Be nice to them.
Yes.
Because sometimes when they ask you, it's like, hi, how are you? And be like, yeah, fine, thanks. How are you? That will make their day. Not many people ask them how they are.
Yeah, we had a few that looked quite surprised when it was us asking them how their day was going.
Yeah, so just be courteous there. So they are there to make you know everything, pretty much. Then. So if you do forget something, then ask. It's like another point. When we were going to Hollywood Studios for the first time, we saw lightning in the distance. So we knew Skyliners don't run with lightning.
Yeah.
Did we know that? So the Skyliner only closes down if lightning is on top of you, really.
Yeah, if it's in the direct area. If it's far enough away, they will still operate.
So we didn't know that, so we went to the buses first, and there was no bus, and then we had to go back through. Luckily, it's literally it was a minute detour. But we asked the cast member, and they were like, "Oh, I don't know if it's down."
Go to the Skyliner to check.
Yeah, but we didn't. We went to the bus.
Yeah.
So listen to the cast members and things. They're there to help you out and things. So.
But it's a good tip that if you want to go to Typhoon Lagoon, it's always going to be a bus to Disney Springs and then transfer from Disney Springs to Typhoon Lagoon, or if it's Blizzard Beach you're going to, it'll be a bus to Animal Kingdom and then a transfer to Blizzard Beach.
Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. Next point, and I think if you watch loads and loads of vlogs and loads of tips and tricks for Disney World, Disneyland California, Disneyland Paris, anywhere for these parks, one of the main things is shoes. Yes, make sure you are wearing the best shoes possible. Wear them in, break them in a bit. Don't just wear them for a week and go, I broke them in now.
Yeah, they need a bit more breaking in than a week's wear.
Not that I know. I know very well. So my feet were destroyed day 3 in. So day 1 in, my feet got wet. I was wearing waterproof shoes, so you think that'll be fine. But I stood in a puddle. So we were on Cali River Rapids. That was fine.
Yes.
So I stood in a puddle in Pandora. Didn't even know where this puddle came from in Pandora because it wasn't even raining.
No, the puddle was outside of Cali River Rapids.
Oh, was it?
In the queue line of Cali River Rapids.
Oh, there we go. And so I hit that and it got on my sock. And for some reason it's absorbed in. My feet started rubbing in and I had blisters. And I had blisters for the entire holiday. They did not go away. I was in a lot of pain. We went through so many blister plasters. We took loads and we used every single one. Every single one. I must have taken about 40 to 60 blister plasters. I can't remember how many I took now. And I used every single one because we were in agony. I was in agony.
Yeah, I didn't have any blisters.
Yes, you did. You had one.
One tiny little one, which had one blister plaster on for about 2 or 3 days, and then it was fine.
Yeah, so, and another reason why my feet went is like, I've got quite wide feet, and a lot of the shoes that I bought seem to fit okay for just quick little things, but not when you're on your feet all day, every day. And I took about 4 or 5 pairs of shoes, but I couldn't wear them because they were pinching my feet too much. So I ended up having to buy another pair of shoes out there, and I literally just went through 3 pairs of shoes. I wore my space shoes, my waterproof shoes, and the shoes that I wore then. So definitely break those shoes in. I was a bit worried, like, oh, I don't want to dirty them and stuff, but whatever. Nobody's going to be looking at your feet. So.
No, I had 3 pairs of shoes, or 3 pairs of trainers, that I took, and I was sort of constantly wearing each of them all before the run-up. And I would sort of take turns in wearing them.
And definitely wear some anti-blister socks as well. So they're pretty good. They're fairly cheap. You picked yours up from Primark. I picked mine up from Amazon. And they're in trainer
so
socks.
the trainer socks, so they were still the shorter ones, but they were specifically blister socks, so they sort of got like they're like 2-layered socks. There's 2 layers to them.
So they got padding where it counts really. So where there's a lot of rubbing usually, that's where there's extra protection really on there. So.
Yeah, and they were really good because I only had 12 pairs of them, so on a few odd days I had to wear just regular trainer socks, like the thinner ones, the 1-layered ones, and you could definitely tell the difference on the days when I was wearing the normal regular trainer socks compared to the blister ones.
Yeah, so that is our 10 things. Let's quickly recap them over. Stay at an airport if you're traveling quite a long way to your airport the night before, and rest after you've traveled.
Yeah.
Don't go too hard too fast.
No.
Don't stick strictly to your itinerary, which comes neatly into don't panic if things aren't going to plan.
Yes.
And then do you want to do the other 5? Huh?
Yeah, so obviously remembering the early entries and the rope drops and taking advantage of those strategies. Remembering castle time on your first time to take it all in. Rides during parades and fireworks, so you get shorter wait times. If all the information in your head suddenly disappears and you can't remember anything, just ask cast members, they'll be happy to help. And obviously shoes.
Very comfortable
broken in shoes.
Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much just what we learned. It's like we were scratching our heads thinking, what could we say with these? And these are the 10 things that came to mind with them. Because like I said at the start, we don't think we did anything wrong, but we might have changed a few things to do it. And we will do these things so you don't have to. I will go through having a blister on every single toe. That is true.
On both feet.
On both feet. For you guys. Science. Painful science.
Whereas I broke my shoes in for science and my feet were fine.
Exactly. The do's and the don'ts. So but thanks very much for watching, guys. Please click that subscribe button and the like button. Share it with your friends as well. Please consider joining our membership down below or giving us a super thanks. We would greatly appreciate it. We do have some videos coming up from Johnny VR heading to Disneyland Paris.
Yes, we've set him a few tasks and challenges.
Indeed, and if he doesn't do them, there will be a forfeit. But I guess think he's easily done it.
Yeah.
Johnny VR! But, yes, until next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.